Welcome to Crafting on the Plains. My name is Jacintha. This is my channel about counted cross stitch and also usually sewing, knitting, quilting, any other crafty endeavors that I happen to be getting up to. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you're a new viewer, welcome. Thank you so much for checking me out. I have had a few new viewers since my last video. So again, thank you so much for checking me out. If you have not already, please consider subscribing and liking the video. It really helps me out and it helps YouTube know what types of things that you're interested in as well. So if you're a returning viewer, you'll know that I've been absent for a little longer than I normally am. I try to update every 2 weeks, but I've just had a lot of life stuff happen. I've not done as much stitching as I normally do because I have been deep in prep for my daughter's birthday. If you've been with me for a while, you know, I can't talk today apparently. You know that I make a lot of stuff for my daughter's birthday every year. She's about to turn 6, so you will definitely get to see that. I do have a little bit of life update that I'm just going to give right at the top. It is related to my stitching and Flosstube, I promise. So one of the reasons why I have not been able to record is I've been really busy. We went out of town last weekend, everything like that. But there's also going to be a little bit of an interruption in my Flosstubing here in like a month or so. And that is because I am going to be having eye surgery. So I've already talked to several of my friends on here about it and my family knows and everything. But this past summer, I found out that I have cataracts. And that's a bit unusual for someone who's in their early 30s. So I found out, went to the eye doctor, just thought, oh, I'm having some normal getting older vision stuff. And no, turns out I have cataracts. So, and they're very bad and they're getting worse quite rapidly. So I have to have eye surgery. It's not really elective at this point. I have to have eye surgery and it's going to be beginning to mid-November is when I'm going to have them. And so that is really going to be impacting my stitching as well as probably my ability to record. So I am going to be having the surgery, like I said, early November the first eye they're doing early November. And then there's a week later, they're doing the second eye. They don't do them both at the same time. I don't know. A lot of people have cataract surgery and it goes really well. And that's definitely what I'm hoping. That seems like that's what we're really hopeful for. The problem is that my doctor was telling me, because I'm not an ophthalmologist, but my doctor was telling me that there's a couple different kinds of cataracts. And sometimes when people have them earlier in life or kind of middle age, they don't know if they are just early onset cataracts that people get as they're older, or if they are genetic cataracts that you've had since birth. And because sometimes people have really, really small cataracts and they don't know that there's anything there because they have fine vision for most of their life. And then at some point they just start getting worse. So the problem is that if I have the kind that I've had since birth, then those can be a lot more difficult to, remove and have like less complications or whatever. My doctor still says it's going to be fine, but it just might mean that I'm out for longer, have a little bit of more recovery time than normal. And also the type of lenses that I'm getting are really new type of lenses. Normally when you get cataract surgery and you get lenses put in your eyes, you have to choose whether you're going to be permanently nearsighted or permanently farsighted. But the type of lenses that I'm hopefully going to be getting is ones where you won't be nearsighted or farsighted. So it should actually improve my vision and I shouldn't have issues with that even down the road as I get older. The problem with those is that they have to be adjusted through a series of like light therapies. I don't really know. But that takes several weeks. And so if I ever have to go like be in the sunlight, so like a natural light in this room, I have to wear like these crazy goggle, ridiculous looking things. So yeah, and I don't know, they really won't know how much they need to be adjusted and how bad my vision will be when I first get them until, I get them and I start healing. So number one, right as I'm recovering, I'm probably not going to be filming a video, and I don't know how much stitching I'm going to do in like the month of November through early December period. I'm hoping I will still be able to stitch at least like larger count stuff, Ada and things like that. So maybe some meal kits. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna be able to stitch. I don't know what I'm able to see. I don't know what, like, how long recovery time. I think cataract surgery is supposed to be pretty quick recovery time, but again, they don't really know because of the type of cataracts I have. So that's what's going on. So I'm really, really going to try to do a Flosstube update at the beginning of November, just so I can do one last update before I take a little break. And then it'll probably be, I'm going to say probably end of November, early December before I have another update. So I'm so sorry if you're missing my videos. Please don't leave me. I promise I will be coming back. But yeah, that's just what's going on. And yeah, I don't know how much stitching I'm going to do. I don't know how many projects I'm able to work on. All of that. It's kind of scary. I'm not somebody that does well with medical stuff. If you can tell, I'm kind of talking really fast right now because I get nervous thinking about medical stuff. And it's just also stressful, like, heading into the holiday season. I have a small child, I work, and not knowing how much of my crafting I'm going to be able to do, because that's like my main source of like stress relief and like leisure is doing crafts. And so I don't know how much of that I'm able to do. So I'm pretty sad about that. So I am hoping that it's speedy recovery and that I'm able to get back to y'all and get back to my stitching and knitting and all that really soon. So that's kind of my update. I did want to give a shout out. I don't think I have shouted them out yet since my last video. But in case I haven't, Red Dirt, I think it's Red Dirt Flossworks. They are a duo. They are from Western Oklahoma, and it is Bree and Ashlyn. And they have just started a Flosstube channel. I met them at a retreat this summer, and I basically just like attached myself to them and made myself their best friends. But yeah, it was really great. And Brie actually works at an eye doctor, so she was able to kind of help me through some of my fears, because I had just found out about the cataracts and everything. So that worked out really well. But they're two wonderful ladies. They are from Oklahoma. They're from Western Oklahoma, so kind of far away from me, but we love to get together on Zoom and we love to chat and everything from when we met at our retreat. So please go check them out. I will link them below. I think they do about one video a month because they're pretty busy ladies, but they definitely have some really great projects that you can check out. So I will link them down below. I'm going to jump right in because I know I've talked for a long time about non-stitchy stuff. So I have one finished object, and this is kind of like a pitiful finish. Not a pitiful finish, but it's a fully finished object actually. And this is, I don't know how bad the glare is going to be. This is, there we go. This is Autumn Alphabet by, I think it's called Willow Hill Samplings. This chart is quite controversial because on the actual picture of the chart, it looks like these pumpkins are blue or like turquoise. And then when you actually look at the call for flosses, they are not. I think that maybe it's an issue with dye lots because it's charted in Gentle Art, and Gentle Art has changed their dye lots a lot in the last few years. So I don't know, but I did stitch this. I did make some changes so that I would have the blue pumpkins. I did some changes to this and whatever. So anyway, if you are interested in, you can see my reflection of my screen, but if you're interested in this, please let me know. And I'm happy to tell you exactly what I used. I finished this about a year ago, I think. But I finished it towards the end of the fall season. And I put this in a frame from Amazon, and you guys, I'm embarrassed about this. This is how it's framed. This is how it's framed, y'all. It's framed like this. I just put it in there. I just put it in there. I did try my best to get it straight, and I think that the stitching, not the stitching is crooked, but the actual like fabric is pulled in a weird way, but it's mostly straight. I stitched this on a 36 count. I'm going to stop showing it because it's just glaring. I stitched it on a 36 count in, it's Picture This Plus. I'll have to put it down below, but it's a very, it's the called for. It's the called for, and everybody stitches Halloween pieces on it. But I had planned on, this is a frame I got from Amazon. It's just like a navy blue frame. Because I actually stitched my border in, trying to show you without like all the glare. I stitched my border in navy, and I thought that it would complement it well. Murky. That's what this is. Picture this was murky. And so I was going to do one of those finishes where you like put a piece of paper or fabric in the frame and then you do like a flat finish and then glue it on top so there'd be a border. But I just really wanted to get this displayed in my house before Halloween was over, and I'm running out of time to get Halloween finishes finished. And so I just whacked it in here, did the best I could. It's not permanent, so I can fix it in the future. And, you know, I'm happy with it how it is. And, yeah. So, yeah, it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. See all my equipment. So there it is. I will try to insert a little bit of better picture of the finish so that way you can actually see it without all the weird glare. Okay, so and like I said, please contact me if you want any specifics on floss, because I don't have all of that with me because I did finish that a year ago. So my whips, actually I have a new start. I am all over the place and I apologize for that. I just got off a Stitchy Zoom. I had so much fun, and my husband had taken my daughter out of the house so I could be on the Stitchy Zoom and not be interrupted a million times. And I realized, you know what, I have not filmed a Flosstube in so long. Let me just grab everything really fast and do it. So that is why I'm just kind of winging it right now. So, okay, this is in a bag that I made myself, Halloween bag. And in this is a new start. This is another stitch from this book, The Winds of Autumn. So many people are stitching out of this book, and I love it. I want to stitch basically every single thing from this book. This one, I've said this before, and I think it's a controversial statement. I don't stitch owls. That's because of like a cultural thing in my family's background. My family's Choctaw, and there's like some folklore around owls. And so, yeah, but I think I could turn it into like a cat or something and it would still be cute. But I love this, and I am stitching this piece October 31st. There we go. And I started this on October 1st on a Zoom with my wonderful friend Sarah from Handmade by Sarah W. She and I did a little Zoom. I'm sure if you're seeing my channel, you've seen hers, but I'll link her below anyway. She and I did a Zoom together, and we had so much fun just chatting and stitching. And so I started this, and then she subsequently started this and finished it. But here I am on this piece. As you can see, I was working on it earlier when I was on my Zoom, but here I am. So I have the 31 done, and I am kind of doing these little Selbu stars type of motif. I know that's what you call it in knitting, is a Selbu star. So I don't know what you call it in cross stitch, but these little motifs through here. And then, yeah, I would love to get this finished before the end of the month. That is a goal. And I'm stitching this on a 32 count Picture This Plus Wren, and I'm stitching it with Weeks Gunmetal, which is a little more charcoal than I think is what's called for, but I still really, really like it. And I am going to finish it into the drum. Probably not this year though, but I am going to finish it into the drum. Okay. My next few stitches, I'll go ahead and show you the one that's out of this book as well. So the other one that I'm currently working on from this book is First Winds of Autumn, which is the title chart. And I don't know how much of this I've done since I saw you last. I think I've just been, I think what I did is I worked on the house some more. So I've been filling in. I've been kind of alternating between doing fill in on the bird, just wherever and then working on the house. But then what I realized is this house is where the date is. So let me see if I can show you. The date goes in the house right there. And I realized that I don't think I'm going to finish it this year. I would love to finish it this year, but I don't think I am. So I didn't want to fill in the date because then I don't want to put 2024 on it and then not finish 2024. So I had to abandon that and go on. And I think I started working on, I don't know. I've been just kind of picking random bits to work on, but I do need to do some fill in on this one. And I love this project. I love this book so much. This is the only Blackbird book I have, but I am going to be getting more. Absolutely, for sure, getting more. Because these are just like a treasure trove of amazing patterns. And this is in my pumpkin spice bag. And I am using all of the called for flosses on this. Just everything that's called for. And I'm keeping them in little floss away bags. And that's working for me so far. A lot of y'all had really great tips on storing your weeks because they don't have a hole on top. They're kind of an oddly shaped floss drop. And I really appreciate that. I'll probably do that for future projects, but for this one, I am liking the floss away bags. I had the wrong bag out. The other one that I've been working on recently is Honey of a Tiny Town by Heart and Hand. And here is my progress. This is not ironed because I just decided to do this on a whim, but here is my progress. So I completed, since I saw you completed this house, and I started working on these ones. This piece takes a surprisingly longer amount of time to stitch than I think I had anticipated. I think because it's a lot of little bits and it's a lot of changing colors and it's a lot of fill-in. But this is really, really fun to stitch. I love it. This is on a 32 count Ren also by Picture This Plus. And I'm using mostly the DMCs. I have a few. I think I went through it last time. I have got a few of these. I'm using Gingerbread from Classic Colorworks, Black Coffee from Classic Colorworks, Weeks Blue Jeans, Classic Colorworks Blacksmith Blue, and Classic Colorworks Dublin Bay. And the rest I'm doing with DMCs. And honestly, some of these I just already had, so I used them. I think I ordered the blues are the only ones that I ordered, and I really don't know that any of them have so much. The only one I think that you would really maybe want is the gingerbread. That's the only one I'd say is like definitely worth it. But other than that, I think you could definitely use just all the DMCs and it just look just as beautiful. So that is my other whip. So I've not had a lot of cross-stitching whips. I do have a plan. My plan is a piece. So I keep telling you, I just got off a Zoom. I do Zooms with my amazing friend Alex from Salex Stitches. And she's on Instagram. And we were playing a game where we kind of like brought in a certain number of whips and then like voted on each other's whips. And then we have a challenge of how to stitch a certain number of stitches on that whip that was like the winner until our next Zoom together. So the one that won, that everybody loved this one. This is like, every time this came up, there was like almost no contest. It is White Winter Moth by Kathy Barrick, and I'll post a picture because, well, I don't even know. I have quite a bit done. I have like 70% done, I want to say now of it. I love this piece. And so this one won, and then we're supposed to do a certain number of stitches based off of the number of whips that amount of starts we had this year times something. Mine was actually a lot lower than everybody else's because I feel like I've been starting just left and right this year, but I guess I don't start as many as other people do. So I've started a lot for me this year. And so at first I was going to have to do more stitches than what my calculation was, but then I told everybody that I had to have eye surgery, and they said, okay, you know what, you just do the lower number. So I think I only have to do like maybe 300 or 400 stitches or something like that on this one, and I can definitely do that. So this will probably be something I work on later this week, just to go ahead and knock that out. And it is a beautiful piece to work on. So this is my plan, and I do love it so much. And this is stitched on a 36 count, and it is Hog's Bristle, Saltbush. No, it's Saltbush. 36 count Saltbush by Fox and Rabbit. And it is the call for DMCs, and it is beautiful. And people ask me, I think I say this every time because I always get asked about my conversion. It's not a conversion. This is the call for DMCs. Kathy Barrick is just so good. She's so good. I could not improve. Like, yeah. So I love this piece, and these are my flosses on these really cool floss drop bobbins that my brother 3D printed and made for me. So, and I am thinking now that I probably forgot to say some flosses and fabrics at some point. So if ever you don't catch what I've said, or I don't say something, just please leave me a comment or message me, DM me on Instagram, email me, whatever, because I am happy to give you the information. I'm never gatekeeping. Sometimes I just forget. But yeah, so that's all my stitching. So I'm going to talk to you about some knitting and some sewing, which is mostly birthday stuff. So, okay, my knitting. Yeah, I'm going to do actually sewing first. So sewing first, I have a finished piece. Actually, it's not completely finished. That's a lie. I need to do like the magic wet erase a line. But this is my daughter's birthday dress. It's so cute. And I forgot to look at the fabric line that this is. So I will link it down below. I bought it on Missouri Star Quilt Company. I just looked for like unicorn fabric, just searched it, and this came up from Missouri Star Quilt Company, so that's what I bought. I could not find this fabric at any other retail. Well, maybe I could, but anyway, this is what I ended up getting. So it's so cute. This is the Little Lizard King. They are a pattern company on Etsy. I have made their patterns before, and I'm going to say if you are a brand new beginner, I would probably not use at least the two that I've done, because I think that they leave some stuff. The way things are explained is not always super clear to me. And some of the time I just do it how I think I should do it. But it's always worked out, and the patterns are beautiful. They have so many different really unique looking like patterns for children. So here it is. So it's these straps. It's got these ruffles. One thing that they have you do is fold. So it's supposed to just be folded under. And because you can see the inside of the ruffle just as much as the outside pretty much. So I did a double layer. So that way you would be able to see it. And it makes it even more like poofy and perky, which is cute. And then it's got like a umpire waist type of deal. I love this pattern because it is stretchy. So the back is elasticated, which this is the only thing I have left to do. Is you can see I had to draw a line with like the disappearing water soluble ink to like stitch my elastic channel, and I haven't. I keep forgetting to just take care of that. But so I love it, but I love that the back is elasticated, so that way hopefully it'll fit her for longer. The skirt is a little bit shorter than I had planned, partially because I actually had bought this fabric for a different project and then changed my mind, and also because I used some extra fabric to do the double layer of this. So the skirt it's not short, it's not too short, but it is like exactly the right length. And normally I try to make her dresses extra length so that way she can wear them for longer. So I am hoping that maybe she just doesn't grow as much as she historically has done. That's probably not going to happen, but maybe I can add like a lace or ruffle at the end of this here in 3 to 4 months when she gains another 2 inches. And yeah, so this is that. And then I serged everything because I have a serger. I highly recommend, if you have a serger and you've not learned how to do a ruffle, how to like gather with your serger, game changer, changed my life. And I just did a cheater hem, that's what I call it, I don't know, where I just serged the edge and then I flipped it under and sewed it down, because again, I did not want to lose any length. This is like such a narrow little hem, not the narrowest hem obviously, but it's like a 1/2 inch hem or so. And I think we're supposed to do a lot more hem than that, but I wanted to make sure that this was as long as possible. So it's so cute. It's so adorable. It's been really, really hot. I mean, it's usually warm in October here in Oklahoma because we are kind of a southern state. But it's been even more hot than normal, which means it'll be freezing on her birthday. But I think she could easily wear like a long sleeve shirt under this if she's cold. But I don't know. The weather's like it has been. She'll be fine in a sleeveless top. Another bit of sewing I have done, I am going to be making her a Halloween costume. I don't have any of that cut out yet, but one time we went to Joann's recently and she found this fabric. It is pink jack-o'-lanterns. I mean, it's so cute. And she begged for a Halloween skirt. So what I have done is all I've done, because she was asleep, and I've only bought 1 yard because I'm used to be able to making her a skirt out of 1 yard of fabric, and she's gotten so much bigger now. I can't really do that. So I just sewed up the 2 side seams. Part of it is this is a directional fabric, so if I hadn't had to do it directional, I think I might have been able to get away with it, but it's definitely a directional fabric. So I sewed up the side seams and then I serged the bottom, but I haven't hemmed the bottom because I wanted to try it on her to determine if I could fold over the waistband and make a regular, just like a waistband, or if I was going to need to add a waistband, and I think I'm going to add a waistband. So I'm going to just find like a coordinating pink fabric in my stash and add a waistband, and then this will be gathered up, put some elastic in, hem the bottom, and it will be a super quick, cute skirt, which I need to work on soon because it's only a couple more weeks to Halloween. Although Halloween is a lifestyle, so she will wear her Halloween stuff all year round. She is definitely a Halloween girly. All right, my last thing is knitting, and it's not really a finished object yet, but the knitting part is finished, and that is my daughter's sweater. So I make her a dress and a sweater every year for her birthday. So this is the 6th sweater that I have made her. Well, not the 6th sweater. I've made more sweaters than that for her, but this is the 6th birthday sweater. And she wanted a cardigan that was rainbow. So I am using the Little Miss Rainbow pattern, and I will link it below. So I have a ton of ends that need weaving in. Pay no attention to that. Oh my goodness, this is a mess. So yes, but the actual knitting is finished. It's bound off. So here it is. I use Knit Picks Comfy, and I love it. I'm getting fuzz in my mouth. So I did the button bands, and the button bands and the hem, bottom band, whatever, and the cuffs are in garter stitch. So I just did an Icelandic bind off for that. That is my favorite type of bind off for something that has a garter stitch, because it's stretchy, not too stretchy, but it just perfectly works with the garter stitch. I will say this is another pattern that if you are brand new to knitting, I would not make this your first sweater. It's a beautiful pattern and it's so cool. I love it. It's got so many elements. It's got this like gathered back, which that part wasn't hard. The gathered back wasn't hard. The pocket, it's got a little pocket, which I still need to sew up, but it's got a little pocket. The pocket was a little bit confusing. But there are some things about it that I found this is originally a French pattern. I believe that the designers are French and then they translated it into English, which I'm so happy for because I don't read French. And it's a really beautiful pattern. But I have found that European patterns, as opposed to American drafted patterns, tend to leave more to your own personal knowledge, as opposed to, I think American patterns really like hold your hand every single minute step of the way. Not every designer. Some American designers are not like that, and not every European designer leaves things to your knowledge. But I feel like this is consistent with a lot of patterns that I've done, that they kind of just like tell you to do something and expect that you either know how to do that or can go find that information on your own. And so I was fine because I knew how to do those things because I've been knitting for years and years and years. But I think if you're a brand new beginner, you might be a little bit daunted. Also, there were some things that I just wouldn't have done it the way that they did. And I'm not trying to dispute that the way they did it was like good. It's just that I wouldn't have done it that way. And so I did make some changes based on how I just construct things. So one of the things was the button band. They just literally said, pick up stitches according to like 3/4, which means that for every 4 stitches, you pick up 3. So you pick up 3 and then skip 1 and then pick up 3 and then skip 1, essentially. At least that's what I do. And then they said, decide how many buttons you want and how far apart to space them and do buttonholes. And like, that's fine because I know how to do a buttonhole. I did have to get my husband's help for the math because that is not my strong suit. I am not good at math. But he like Excel spreadsheeted it and he figured out how I should do my buttonholes. But yeah, so the buttonholes, like, there was not a lot of instructions on, versus I feel like some other patterns will literally say like on this size you need to count this many stitches and then do a buttonhole and then etc. etc. So but it was fine. It worked out great. It's a beautiful, beautiful pattern, like I said. And I just have now a billion ends to weave in. So this is what I'm going to be doing this evening, or probably actually promptly after I get off of this, is to weave in all of my ends. And I'm going to block this because I want to make sure that it fits her well. And I need to sew up my little pocket. And I need to sew on my buttons. I bought the buttons last night, but I forgot them. They're in the car that my husband and daughter have driven somewhere in. So that's my cardigan. It's so cute. I will definitely show you pictures of the finished piece in my next Flosstube. And I have a little bit of haul, and it's knitting haul. So I have this bag. It's from someplace called Community Fibers Yarn Shop. It is in Claremore, Oklahoma. So I had to go to a family wedding this past weekend. Yeah, this last weekend. The weekend before last. And we were in Claremore, Oklahoma, which is a town in like northeast Oklahoma, if you're all familiar with like Oklahoma geography. It's actually where the musical Oklahoma was written about, but it looks nothing like that. It doesn't look like that. But it is the technical setting of the musical and film adaptation Oklahoma. But they have a little yarn shop there. And it was so cute. If you are in the northeast Oklahoma area or you're traveling through there, I highly recommend that you check out Community Fibers. the staff was so sweet, and they were having a little knitting group, which everybody in the knitting group, I could hear them like chatting while I was shopping, and I was like, oh my goodness, I wish I lived here because I would definitely be part of this group. So anyway, I picked up a couple things. They had a really good, I feel like a really good selection of both like commercial yarn as well as hand dyed yarn. So I thought it was great. They had some little kits. They had lots of beautiful samples. Yeah, I would have said, and they have a little like room for kids. So my daughter came in with me, and she does love to shop for yarn. If you've been around my channel, you know that my daughter just loves going into craft stores more than just about anything. But there's a little playroom where kids can hang out while you shop. So I thought that was nice. So yeah, definitely a really cute little place. So I picked up a couple things. The first thing I got is, every time I go into a new yarn store when I'm like on a trip, I always try to get a mini skein to put into my Cozy Memories blanket because it's a little souvenir, a little memory. So I got this one from Leading Men Fiber Arts, and I don't think I've never owned any Leading Men Fiber Arts. I've heard about them online a lot, but I've not been in a store that sells them, and so they have quite a good selection of Leading Men. So I got this one. It's called The Great Sweater Debate, and it is really cute. I don't think, at least on my screen, it's not doing it justice. It's like a bluish gray with like these rainbow speckles. Like the speckles are not as vibrant. They're more vibrant in person than they're coming up on screen. But so that'll go into my Cozy Memories at some point. And then I picked out this. I was so excited to see this. This is a sock set. It's called the Red River Sock Set, and it's from a company called Scissortail Knits. And this is I actually don't know this town. Maybe it is in Claremore. I don't know. It says made in Oklahoma, and there's a little star up in the northeast corner. So I don't know what town Scissortail Knits is from, but they're from a town in northeast Oklahoma, so they're definitely local to Community Fibers. And this is the colorway is called Rose Rock, which I'm assuming is this one because it's kind of the color of Rose Rock. It's such a beautiful like mauve color, and it's got a little bit of like, not quite speckling, but it's definitely like slightly variegated. It's beautiful. And then this one is Tumbleweed, and it is a really beautiful like creamy, it's not really an undyed because it is variegated, but it's a really beautiful like creamy color. So love this. I think this will be really beautiful for like a textured sock, because I have a lot of sock yarn that is highly speckled, highly variegated, and that's great, but you can't really knit a texture because it doesn't show up. But this one I think will be perfect for a nice like textured sock. So very fun. I need another sock set. Like I don't need another sock set. That's basically what I'm trying to say. But these are beautiful, and they had a lot of really, really gorgeous colors as well from the Scissortail Knits. So I'm definitely going to be checking them out and getting some more information on them because I would love to support some more Oklahoma crafting businesses. So, okay. That is everything. I don't have any cross-stitch haul really that I can think of. No, that is it. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you are stitching on. If you've made it this far, let me know what your upcoming starting plans are. And also, if you have not, I think I always forget to say this at the beginning of the video, but definitely check out my Instagram. I will link it below because I will be trying to post some more like types of updates on there if I can't do Flosstube. So yes, but I do plan on coming back at least one more time before my surgery, and then it'll be a little break, and then I will see you guys closer to the holiday season. So I will see you in the next Flosstube, and I hope that you get a lot of crafting time.